Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for gracing us with your presence today. I'm Johan Abrahams, obviously not John Clay. For those who don't know me, I am the outgoing president of the chapter. And I extend a very warm welcome to you for the 2016 annual general meeting of the PMI UK chapter. So, what we're trying to do today is concentrate on three broad areas. As you see here, we had the PMI UK chapter board elections in December, and as you probably know, the elections are conducted in a staggered fashion. We have half the board standing for election at any given year, and that gives us a privilege of getting new ideas coming in, but we at the same time we are able to maintain the sort of continuity, keep our basic operations running while the new people bed in. So we had incoming as president John Clay, who I have known for a while now, since I joined the board of the chapter, and one of the blue-eyed boys. He's been helping us tremendously in progressing the chapter. He took on a very important role, that of making PMI membership relevant wherever you are, not necessarily only in London. So he's been working on he has been director for member networks, and under his tenure, the PMI communities outside London have grown tremendously, as you will see on some of the slides as we go forward. So John will be the president for the next 2 years, and that's a bit of his profile. And that's what he looks like. And the rest of the members, I have a few supporting me here today. First but not least, Mr. Anthony Sneed. Few. And we also have Jeff Arnold with us, seated next to him. And if you could kindly join me in giving a big hand of applause to both of these gentlemen. So, this is a board. This is voluntary, totally voluntary. In addition to this, we have every region has a similar volunteer board, and we have in our midst today, we have Franco Guarella. Please, if you could stand up, Franco. So Franco is in charge of, he's second to, where is Marco? Okay.
Right. Second from the bottom of the right.
Okay, so Marco here is in charge of all the communities around the UK, and Franco is associate director under him. So in practical terms, he's in charge of most of the operational activities that take place around the UK. And we have with us as well Gavin Henderson, who is our host today. Big round of applause to Gavin. And we also have Ala Antoniak, who is in charge of our social media outreach, and she'll have a few words to describe. We also have Maria with us, who's been doing a lot of supportive work. Hi, Maria. And Jan, who's been a leading light in our construction forum, which is a special community interest group. We also have with us Merv. Please stand up. Thank you very much for all the support in all the groups that you have been working with. And finally, last but not least, we have Nick Lake, who has been a stalwart of the chapter for many, many years. And yes, so he'll be with us as we go along with the activities this year. So we come, PMI has two main areas of focus, not only in the UK but across Europe, across the world. Namely, retaining and growing our membership, our communities, and secondly, to help our members in their career progression. So these are primary considerations, and you can see from this graph that we've been doing reasonably well in the growth of our membership, and all credit for that is, at least a great part of the credit for that is due to Nick Lake, who has been leading our member development activities. So if I can just hand over the floor to Nick for a couple of minutes for him to go through the successes, how we have reached this stage where we are today. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Is the sound okay?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, so membership has been kind of tough for us as a chapter over the last 10 years. In 2005, we had around 3,350 members. So if you look at the graph, it was up there, and that was kind of way back the far side of the wall, a long way back in time. And it had gone down, and me and the preceding director of membership have put a lot of effort into trying to turn this round and tried various things. So my personal aim when I started in January 15 was to get above that number, 3,350, and we did this year here. But as you can see, there's a lot of noise in these things. So the pale blue is the 3-month average, the dark blue is the monthly number, and it did just pick up, and you'll notice a significant change here. I redid the way we communicate with our members and added 5 new things that we hadn't been doing before, which I think has correlated with that. The number at the end of the year was about 3,460. That was taken a week before the end of the year, and of course people carry on joining in the last week, so the numbers keep creeping up until the very last day. So my aim was to get the membership up, and I've handed over to Ian McAllister, who is also familiar with these things and will be carrying on doing that. The other significant changes that I've tried to achieve in my period aren't quite so obviously chapter ones. The first of them is that it used to be when you applied for membership on the website, it was called PMI membership, and then this other thing turned up called chapter membership. And if you were new to PMI, you thought, I want to become a PMI member, what is this chapter stuff? That's now changed. So now when you become a member, you apply, you put your details in, and the system promotes to you your local chapter, and it assumes you're going to join. The other thing that I've tried to do, which is also creeping in, is to get away from this talk of PMI and chapter membership and call it global and local. Because it's all PMI membership, we should be one PMI. So that's, how do we do, is it page down?
Yeah.
Page down. All right. Okay, and these are trends in the chapter performance, particularly as it pertains to membership. That's the growth rate for the last 3 years. We had a great year that year, and then we're still carrying on, at least, my aim was to get us going up. So that's excellent. And the attrition rate, that's something which is, has always been an issue. Well, it's not an issue, it's just reality. We have a very high attrition rate in project management. But then that's kind of, you would expect that because people don't necessarily start off their career as a project manager and don't necessarily end it. A lot of people come in, do project management and move on to something else. If you compare it to some other sorts of association, then something like Saga, for example, somebody who joins Saga, the Association for the Elderly, they will never leave it until the ultimate event. So their attrition rate is going to be the opposite. It's just the nature of the organisation. So I'll hand over to Johan, back to Johan at this point, unless there's any questions on this one.
We'll take questions finally because of the mic situation, right? So, thank you. So, thanks, Nick. really getting the graph nudging upwards is no easy task. We were trying all sorts of stuff, and it's really heartening to see some of these things have worked. I actually didn't realize 2014 was that good, because we put in a lot of effort in 2014. And you can see that reflected in the member satisfaction surveys that we run. This is run by PMI globally, and quite a lot of people. This 94% of Synergy is really astounding, because everybody who attended Synergy wants to come back, and it's a proud testament to all the hard work that goes into this. Nice to see you, David. Right. So, unfortunately, Callistus is not around today. So, one of the things that we have done, in addition to all the work that Nick Sterling work that Nick has been doing in terms of developing membership, has been in looking at our services, the services that we provide as PMI chapters. So we have a list of core services that we are obliged to provide under our agreement with PMI globally. Now, events like this, the AGM, all these are part of the core services. And this is, a career forum is not something that everybody does. This is a reflection of our increasing maturity, because we understand that even people who are currently at work, all of us are looking for our next role. We are looking for our next contract, our next consultancy. That is the nature of the game. So what we have done through the career forum is actually create a whole, almost a special interest group that focuses on different aspects of employability, career development, talent management, and we had conducted an event. We conducted a career fair in September of last year, 29th of September. What PMI did on that occasion was to create a platform where different people were able to come and overlay their products and their services. So, for instance, there was a bit about, we contacted all our corporate partners, and we had hiring managers on the day. They were talking about the ethos, the culture, the requirements of their candidates for roles within their companies. We had some really excellent presenters on CV writing skills, on interview skills. We had Mr. Bull, Chris Bull. We had quite a lot of people, experts at their fields, coming and talking to us about how we can develop ourselves. And that was, we had over 300 people turning out for that, if I'm right, 250 plus delegates. Speed networking, we had people meeting each other in very short periods, so that you don't get stuck with one person for a long time, so you're able to talk, move along, and sort of learn from each other quickly, and then probably go out to the pub and have a more detailed deep dive. And that worked very well. In terms of mentoring, what we have been doing lately is that we have spent some time on this, developing the structures for us to sort of understand what are the key drivers in mentoring in terms of sharing knowledge between people. Now we are all set. We are in a very, very exciting stage now in terms of industrializing mentoring, where we have a self-service portal, almost like a dating service. So that is going to be something that we'll be doing this year, where mentors will be attracting mentors not only from the chapter but from other areas, and offering them to our members, so that they will. Everybody would benefit from this exchange of experiences. And the thing about that is that you don't have to have face-to-face chats on this. It could be virtual, and we are looking at even opening this up to chapters overseas, so that we'll be able to exploit the advantage that we have as PMI, where we have this whole network of chapters across Europe. Toastmasters. Do we have Brian? So I would like to introduce you to Brian Chan, who is the chairman of the What are you at Toastmasters? Sorry. So he's the head of Toastmasters. He will just start talking. 3 years ago, we started out Toastmasters. This is something that we experienced in one of our regional conferences in Marseille. They were talking about how Toastmasters, which is a global organization, almost on par, 345,000 members across the world. So how our PMI project managers associating with this organization would be to the benefit of our members. And Brian will talk to us about how that has progressed. Yeah, over to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brian, and I'm the president of PMI UK Toastmasters. We are an educational offering by the Project Management Institute. Now, as you can see, our club is a public speaking club. We utilize the Toastmasters methodology to train our members in the art of public speaking and communication skills. Now, recently, our club has been doing very, very well. Last year, we achieved the distinguished club status. So basically, it is sort of like a recognition granted by the Toastmasters International to clubs worldwide. So out of 10 goals, we have achieved 5 of them. Now, this year, we're aiming to do better. We are on our way to achieve 9 out of 10 goals. Some of the goals include, achieving getting more than 14 members, number of members getting competent communication award, which is getting all the necessary skills required to do public speaking, and vice versa. Also, we have established a connection with PMI Madrid Toastmasters. Now, the plan is, moving forward, is to align our educational offering. Each month, we will assign a knowledge area. So our meetings will be based on a specific knowledge area. Members, during their speeches, can base their speech on this particular knowledge area. It serves 2 purposes. First, for them to refresh their project management knowledge. Second, for them to be competent, to be able to speak to other project managers regarding the specific knowledge area as well. We have recently also launched a mentoring scheme within the Toastmaster confine. So each new member is assigned a mentor to train them in the art of public speaking. So we meet on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of each month at St. Botolph Church. If any of you are interested in joining, do come. We start at 7 p.m. If you are interested, do come and speak to me after this. I shall hand the meeting back to our president, Johan. Thank you.
President days are gone now. Okay. I'm no longer the president. Okay.
Oh.
Just a quick one to you, Brian. I was just chatting with David at the refreshments area, and he was interested in maybe your next year's assignment, which might be to start Toastmasters in Birmingham. So he's from, you're from Madrid?
Well, from Spain, Vigo.
Vigo? Oh, right. Just from the north, right. So that's the story there. Now, can I, without much further ado, hand over to my colleague, Anthony Sneed, who has grown our volunteer offering tremendously.
Hello, good evening. My name is Anthony Sneed. I am the current Director of Volunteering. I've been the Director of Volunteering since January of 2014. Is that right, 15? This is my 3rd year, so do the math. So as we're going through these slides, it's becoming very clear that we've had tremendous growth in a lot of different areas over the last few years. Just to give an example within the volunteering, it's similar to what the trend has been in membership. We've had some people come, some people go. and volunteering is the same thing. So the chapter is run and supported primarily by volunteers. We all have our day jobs. Some people might have some nighttime jobs, but they also give up their free time to come and help support the chapter in its mission to promote project management within the UK and the project management community. So the trends, when I first took over as Director of Volunteering, everybody came to me and said, Anthony, I need help. We need volunteers. We don't have enough volunteers to do the work to run this chapter. Now what I hear today is volunteers coming to me saying, Anthony, we need more opportunities. I want to help, but there's nothing for me to do. And I think that's just a sign of the success that we've had in growing the number of volunteers. So last year, we had over 125 volunteers support the chapter in some way. Now, we have volunteers who are running similar events to tonight in other parts of the country, in the branches. We have people, volunteers that are helping to support some of our larger events like Project Challenge and Synergy. And we also have volunteers that are helping run some operational activities within the chapter to help sustain the growth that you're seeing in some of these slides. Volunteer Day is one of the biggest events, volunteer events for the chapter, so that falls underneath my area. And just to give an example of our growth and participation in that event, so two years ago when I did the first Volunteer Day, we had about 35 volunteers who showed up. Volunteer Day, for anybody who doesn't know, is a day of celebrating our volunteers. It starts off with an awards dinner from Friday night, and we do our Volunteer of the Year award. We actually had the Volunteer of the Year in 2016 sitting in the audience today with Maria Latronico. So 35 people showed up to event 2 years ago. Last year was about 45. And if you look at the number of what we did just this couple of weeks ago, we had 73 people, 73 volunteers show up for Volunteer Day to help celebrate volunteering within the chapter and volunteering as what I would like to say a profession outside of your profession. So again, hoping to follow the same trends as membership, continue to grow the volunteer base. So if anybody is interested in getting involved in the chapter, wanting to help support the chapter in any way, get involved in project management, helping to support the chapter promote its mission, then please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Might be of interest for you to know that Anthony took over as Director of Volunteering from me. In those days, we used to have directors asking for volunteers, and okay, things have changed now. Well done. So we're going through that. Synergy next. So Synergy, as probably all of you know, we had 500 people, more than 500 people turning up for an evening at Central Hall in Westminster. Not an evening, rather whole day's activities. We will not have been able to run. So Synergy it's not a technical event. It's a celebration of project management as a profession. And the beauty about this is that it's the way we structure it is attractive to people outside project management. So you have CEOs, CFOs, coming down, and we have built up a reputation like you saw earlier on, 94% satisfaction, and there's something like 90% of the people, are repeat attendees. So that was really good. Keep the 2nd of November free, please. That's when we have our next iteration of Synergy. Wanted to say something. Synergy would not. It's a massive project. Takes place. When 500 people come up with something like 80,000 pounds worth of investment on it through all different types of activities. And I just want to mention today we will not be able to run events like this if not for people like Timothy Bull today, because Anchura has supported us. We had some key sponsors who have been supporting the chapter in our activities, because this is not only about members, it is about a whole range of stakeholders, including corporations that employ our members, including companies that sell their products to our members and to our communities. to our training providers who provide us with all the facilities, the learning and development for our members. So it's what PMI does is we act as a facilitator. We bring all these people in together and to create, for mutual benefit and to evidence the truth that 1 and 1 doesn't always have to be 2, right? To have the multiplier effect. So now we come down to the communities that I was talking to you about. So briefly, this is our presence across the UK. David, so you will find the Midlands down there. So that is where we have a Birmingham chapter, very vibrant. And in terms of John's notes, we have, so in terms of the structuring of the branches, they are sort of mini versions of the main chapter, and they help in us delivering our strategic objectives. One of the things that Anthony failed to mention is that on Volunteer Day, that's a day when we pull all our volunteers together, 70 leaders from across the country, where they have a chance of influencing what we are going to do for the next year and for the years ahead. And that is built into the second part of the presentation that I'm going to talk about. So this is a very sort of a decentralized model, and it empowers our volunteer teams out there. So it's not only the regional teams. Now we have also teams based on discipline. So we have Toastmasters, we have the Construction Forum, Financial Services is about to kick off very soon on the 22nd of March. We'll be launching our Financial Services Forum. So there'll be a lot of new groups coming into play this year. Gavin is managing everything that is happening in London, and Franco is overall in charge of whatever is happening across the country. So there's quite a lot on this slide. We actually were selected as one of the top 3 chapters of our size in the world, which was a massive achievement last year. Unfortunately, we couldn't win. The winners were Montreal in Canada, but I was so very proud of the team because this is like, we had something like 270 chapters in the world, and what we had done, we are right up there in terms of our performance. Because this was not an arbitrary decision, this was based on key metrics of the chapter. And I hope we will go from strength to strength and become even better at what we do. And rest of it. One quick thing was about Power Talks, again something that Antura supported us on. This was an event aimed at the C-suite, where we brought in very senior people into around 40 of them. We had an evening out, and we had some very distinguished speakers in there. 3 of them, we followed a TEDx format, where each person was able to talk for 7 minutes. And we had a very frank and free exchange of ideas. And this was how PMI engages with and influences companies, so that they will hire our people, that they will use our the services of our sponsors, and ultimately that we will all grow as a community. So strategy. So 2014, so PMI Global and the UK chapter, we met in Pennsylvania. Our board went across for a brainstorming session in 2014, and we came up with this concept of having a single PMI for the whole of UK, because there are different PMI teams working here. Some of them deal with governments and with senior corporations. There's another team that engages with universities. So we are trying to, and then there's a central marketing team that sort of spends a lot of money in advertising in large companies, in broadsheets, in Financial Times, and so on and so forth. So we brought in all those teams together to come up with one approach for the UK. And as a culmination of that, we came up with some principles that we agreed to follow. And we had a first business plan in a decade, updated and signed off last year. That gave us sort of a broad groundwork for all of us to start working together on. And now, and we had tremendous growth, like how Nick was talking about, and in terms of what Anthony was talking about, there have been sort of growth across all areas. And this year is going to be consolidation to make sure that we have that our services catch up to support this increased delivery of service of our core services. So we will find this year a lot of the work that we have been doing, repetitive administrative work, is being outsourced. So synergy, a large element of synergy, the operational stuff will be outsourced, but the voluntary element will still be maintained. So quick note on the business plan for this year. That has been acknowledged as one of the best the guys have seen, the PMI has seen. So all these are massive achievements, and all this is due to the effort that people like the people in this room have put in. So it's all about, it's almost a wake-up call. It's not like, now for instance, again pointing out to David, we were talking about what PMI can do for you, but it's mainly what you can do for your community, in the assurance that the PMI logo and the brand is totally behind you. It's something like a $200 million dollar annual, something like that in terms of brand recognition. So it's massive, and you have the power to employ it to develop the community. So. So these are the key objectives for the year. I'm just trying to go through what John wanted me to pass on to you. 2017, it's about stabilization. We have grown a lot over the past few years. Now we have a much bigger portfolio of services. We need to ensure that these are fully grounded. We have the supportive infrastructure in place. So board structure, we need to make sure that we have the right leadership team for the next 5 years. Balancing strategic focus with operations. Governance is to have controls in place to ensure that there is structured delivery of services, empowered volunteers, and that to ensure that all our volunteers are valued and are able to reach their full potential. Then we have a marketing plan where membership growth continues to be continues as it has done. And then regional relaunch is about it's about sort of restructuring the branch networks across the country, and operationally to make sure that we ensure that we continue to operate at the very high levels that we have continued to do in the recent past. So I think that I'm just going to go through this very quickly. We'll have a chat later on in case, because I'm not sort of massively conversant with what's on the next few slides. So in terms of 2017, the focus is going to be on these 4 or 5 areas. So the structuring of the board to bring in more, sort of create a strategic and operational focus. So there'll be more people, there'll be more opportunities in the board for people to join and to sort of develop from a national angle. And in terms of governing ourselves better, empowering our volunteers, and to strengthen our marketing and regional activities. So quickly run through that. I think Anthony touched upon this. You have anything else on this? So on the marketing, I would like to sort of if I may just offer an opportunity for Allah, you might have seen on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, some really, really beautiful marketing material coming out. So soon as the event is organized at a venue, Allah and her team, they sort of pick up everything, make sure that there's a beautiful flyer that talks about what is happening, and then communicating it to all our members and also bringing in prospective members. So I have massive appreciation for what Allah has done. Would you quickly like to describe how your process works, Allah? How your social media? Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to present to you Allah Antoniak, who is a Associate Director for our social media strategy.
Good evening. I just want to tell a little bit about how the process works. So, at the moment, PMI UK have got few networks, social networks, which is Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter is the main platforms for PMI UK. Also, we've got PMI UK LinkedIn group. If you didn't join just yet, please do join. It's a very nice conversation going on there and more to follow up. As for the marketing plan execution, we're just making sure that every event promoted in a timely manner and that our voice is heard and more members attending events. For the last year, we've seen bigger response from our members and newly members joined as well. So we just want to make sure that you get informed on time. And as for our design strategy is we're trying to make it simplified as much as possible to save our volunteers time and generally make this process smooth. So what we do is we've got events planned beforehand. They're all posted on PMI UK calendar. If you have a look, that's the favorite tool for most of our members. Now from there onwards, we're just picking up the events and we're making sure that we create designs responsive to the audience and share them among social networks. Now, we want to make sure also that they're relevant and also from time to time we're telling stories about PMI UK, how we're attending events, the feedbacks from events and so on and so forth. So PMI UK Volunteer Day is coming and there would be some feedbacks on that you'll see soon on social networks. So we hope that we meet your expectations and we'll be working hard next year to make sure that we're getting better and better and more members join. At the moment, at least 8 members join, like followers gained every week on different social platforms, and it's growing. Also, PMI UK LinkedIn group grew around 100 members plus since last few months, so it's very good news as well. PMI UK getting noticed by more and more amazing project management professionals from London, across the country, and from different countries as well. Thank you so much for your support. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. And I wish all the best with PMI UK in 2017. We'll be here to support you. Thank you.
Thank you, Allah. Website. So Jeff is working on the website. Self-centered service mentoring again is Jeff's area. I'll just give him a chance. Would you like to just quickly talk about your plans here? Forums, I was talking about forums are actually structured around your area of interest. So if you come from financial services, construction, and you want to build a community around it, then if you can get in touch with us, because we have 2 forum leads here at the moment. Corporate partnering, commercial operating. So let me just sort of share what we are trying to do here now. So in terms of self-service mentoring is going to be mainly web-based, and the improved website is again something that is going to be a massive activity, one of the focuses for the year. And I would like to give Jeff 5 minutes to talk about his aspirations. Jeff, by the way, is in charge of is the director for communications at PMI UK. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jan. So I took over actually William Corsina at the beginning of the year. We had to take a paternity leave. Obviously we have a lot of challenges around our website. It's many things to be improved. We've been having some issues with the technical support behind it this past year, issues which have been solved now. So we are starting the work slowly. It's a lot of things which needs to be improved on all sides, on all topics. We need to find a way that the website also becomes a support to all the different areas of activities of the chapter, the established ones, but also the new ones like the self-service mentoring, for example, or the new forums and the new branches. So we've been doing a lot of investigation with technical support since I took over at the beginning of the year to see how we could improve the way we use our tools so that all our volunteers could contribute directly on posting content on the website, especially for addressing the members, but also on or what would be the ways we could have attempted to improve the corporate communication to our sponsors and also to about our corporate events. So it's a lot of things to be done. I have a list of more than 100 requests sitting on my desk. Good news are we have the tools to do it. We have the technical support to do it. Now we just need to find the hands to do the work, to build the content. So I have already a couple of volunteers who have touched base with me to help us in the process. If you are interested, if you know anyone who could be interested in contributing to that support, they are most welcome, and you are most welcome to get in touch with me. It's a lot of work ahead of us, so the more we will be to tackle the job, the faster we will be able to deliver. And that's also, I think, one of the key goals we should have in the coming months if we want to deliver the marketing strategy and the marketing plan which has been defined by the board. So I hope a lot of things will be coming up soon on our website. Firstly, it will be small changes, and hopefully in the following months we'll be able to deliver more impressive, hopefully impressive changes on what's available on the net to support the communication of the forums, of the regions, but also to support the communication we are already doing on the social media and the communication around the chapter as a whole for all our members and all our sponsors. Well, that's all I could say for now. Hopefully I'll be able to show a bit more. So I don't know if you want to proceed on. Shall I hand over back to you?
Thank you.
Thanks.
So next time this year, you will see a lot more improvements on the website. And Jeff is one of the sort of, the known him for a long time, and he's one of the embodiments of PMI because, if I may say so, because he's been working volunteering in France. So he has this that's one of the advantages with PMI is that you are able to work in different regions, understand what works, and employ those that understanding, that knowledge across the whole of the community. Another person is Gavin. He's been in Switzerland before, and then Franco has worked with 2 chapters with Northern Italy and the UK. What PMI does is, in addition to all this, is that we uses the strength of our community, right? We have thousands of people in the UK. We leverage, we try to, so rather than us being individually trying to do things as project managers for our personal development, for our career development, when we get together as a group, then there is strength in numbers, and we are able to employ this to make ourselves more attractive to many different segments of the community. One of the key areas that we do this very well is in how we make use of the strength of our numbers to get commercial organizations to invest on our members. So we have Tim with us. We have ESI, which is a educational services provider, and there are some other organizations that help us. And the person in charge of all this is Kieran, my colleague Kieran Smith, He's just stepped into the hot seat and he has some very, very ambitious targets. Would you like to just quickly have a quick word about your plans for this year, Kieran? Thank you.
For those who don't know me, I'm Kieran. Quite a mic. So yeah, as Johan mentioned, new to the role for this year. Some of the plans that we've got in place are first and foremost about putting in an operating model. So how we can build those relationships with potential sponsors, how we can demonstrate the value that PMI has to offer for them. And of course, over the last year, you'll notice that we've had a significant uplift in activity in social media and how we've engaged with the wider community of project managers. So being able to, I guess, document that and be able to present it back to potential sponsors and ensure that they can see the value that, I guess, supporting our activities can bring for them. The importance, and I guess my priority for the year, will be to strengthen our revenue streams into the chapter and to deliver on these initiatives that we have outlined this evening, but also more as you come up with, I guess, things that you'd like to get involved in, how you want to bring the profession forwards. Into next year, we'll look at how we can deliver more, greater value for our spend. There's plenty of opportunities to become part of that team. We're looking to put in place a number of commercial champions, which is a strong overlap with the corporate outreach across each of the regions. So we're looking for volunteers to get familiar with what our value is to potential sponsors, and I guess keep in contact, develop a network, I guess, with ourselves in London, where most of the drive will come from. Second to that, we're also looking for a number of volunteers to create account teams with each of our sponsors, so we can better understand their needs and that we can help shape the events as we go forward and continue to add value for our sponsors. So happy to take any questions afterwards and look forward to meeting those who I haven't met already.
So I hope that's given you a flavor of some of the things that we do. The strength of what we do, I mean, there's absolutely the boundaries to what we do is limited by our imagination. So if you feel there is opportunity for you to do something to grow yourself, to grow project management, to grow the community, please feel free to come and have a chat with one of us. What the chapter does is that we are able to deploy at your service our marketing features, our social media abilities, all our other strengths to help you achieve what you want to do. Before I hand over to Gavin, I think, yes, so what we're also now doing is we are trying to sort of leverage. If you look across Europe, there are 43 chapters across Europe. Many of them do some, their operations are very similar. So, for instance, they'll have Toastmasters here, they have Toastmasters in Madrid. So many things that are taking place across Europe. So what we are doing is we are engaging with these chapters and we are trying to increase the value of UK membership by sharing resources. So for instance, if you were to go down to Madrid, you will be able to use your UK membership to attend events over there and in France and wherever you go. So we are building on a whole range of activities that we will be able to publish in April. End of April is when you are trying to have information that we'll be able to share with our members. So there's a lot of interesting activities going on there. So before I take questions, I just would like to try something different. So you have heard about, how great we are by listening to people from within the board. I would like to offer this opportunity to Tim to come and talk about, how the ride has been with Antura last year, PMI and Antura, in terms of we met in these premises a year ago, and now Tim is an integral portion of the chapter, and He talks about his business, how it has grown with the chapter's services in terms of we have benefited from Tim as much as he has benefited from us. So if I can just hand over impromptu, quick couple of minutes, and then it's Gavin.
Good evening, everyone. As unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, very good to meet with you all. I've met many of you before. For those who don't, my name's Timothy, and I'm with Antura. We're an international project portfolio management software provider. We were founded in Sweden in 2001, and many of my Swedish colleagues have been a key part of the Swedish chapter of PMI, which is very, very active. And I know that there are some that know some of those people from that chapter here. So when we set up our UK subsidiary last year, one of the big things for us was to really build on that established relationship with the PMI and to build on that. So a large part of what I've been doing, heading up our UK subsidiary, has been making sure that I've been spending time getting to know the PMI here in the UK, been helping out behind the scenes at a few events. Also helped out in front of the scenes at a couple of events as well. I remember at the Career Forum in September, just about 20 minutes before it began, the gentleman who was running it sort of came out to me and said, Tim, can you introduce it for us? And there I was, had a list of things I needed to say. So that was a really fun event, and I helped out with moderating the discussion panel, which was fantastic, because something that has been really clear has been that PMI really does attract the best. The most enthusiastic people, fantastic speakers at all sorts of events, Career Forum, Power Talks, all these other sort of things. So it's been, for me over the last year, I've learned a heck of a lot. We were very proud to be a sponsor of Synergy. And there's a video of me talking about Synergy that I understand has gone viral, according to Johan. So I'm looking forward to another very exciting year, and looking forward to potentially Synergy 2017. I hear lots of very good things about that too. So I look forward to, if you've got any questions for me afterwards, look forward to chatting with you guys a bit more. But it's a real privilege to be here. And it's great to get to know Johan first of all, then everyone else I've been getting to know as well. And I know that 2017 is going to be a fantastic year for PMI UK. Thank you, everybody.
Any pressing matters that you would like to discuss? We could always discuss over refreshments. Is there anything anybody has in mind? So in the absence of any immediate questions, can I just hand over to Gavin? Gavin again is, I don't have this chance every day of introducing Gavin, but Gavin and David there have done tremendous amount of human service for the chapter. I mean, it's been very early days, but there's a lot of structure in what they do, and I have absolutely no hesitation of doubt that what the days ahead are going to bring a lot of benefits to members in London specifically, and through their sort of example, other chapters, other branches outside London as well. So I have great pleasure in handing over to Gavin now to conclude the event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Johan. So I'll just get the slides up if you don't mind.
Just continue, just if I can continue.
Oh, you put it together? Ah, nice. We've gone back to the starter. Just a second.
Go back to the bottom.
Yeah. Here you go. Okay. Right, so just a little update on the London branch activities. I won't keep you too long. As always, of course, we always tell you about the Toastmasters, and it was great to have Brian here this evening telling us more holistically about what's going on there. I can tell you that actually I joined the PMI Toastmasters this month, and I'm going to the event on Wednesday, and I'm going to enter the competition. It's going to be my first competition, so I'm really excited about that. and I would encourage others to come along as well. The mentoring program was also mentioned this evening. Is that rendered correctly? Looks like it's not rendering quite as we might have expected. But yeah, I also received information just last week that there are definitely some mentors available in the London area as well. So if there's anybody who's looking for a mentor, then that's a great opportunity. And also, of course, there's opportunities for people to volunteer as mentors or to be mentees. I think, as I said, last month, I had the opportunity to join a PMI mentor program in Switzerland, and I found it very beneficial. So if it's something of interest to you, I'd be happy to talk about my personal experience and can also help guide you to finding the information for this. So yes, as always, we have some opportunities with the London branch, but actually we filled a couple of the positions since the last month, and we have an offer out for one of the positions as well currently. So there are still some of the openings here. So the media services and the speaker sourcing, I'll tell you a little bit about on the next slide. This role is the one that we have an offer out for at the moment, the university outreach. And hot off the press, I was asked to highlight that there's the Financial Service Forum chair is going to be advertised in the near future. So you can find these on the, I always forget, is it VMRS? Or, no, VRMS, as it says at the top there, website. That's where it grays out. Yes, and so as I was highlighting, so for me there's two very interesting opportunities that we have currently open with the London branch. The first one is the speaker sourcing. And the reason I think this is particularly interesting is because it's going to be all about networking with leading individuals in the project management field. So it's going to be very good for yourself, and it's an opportunity to help grow the London branch as you help bring interesting speakers so that we can all enjoy these events and bring greater value to people, to the members and to yourselves, so for personal growth and for the whole chapter. And the media services is going to be a very interesting one as well. So this would be working very closely with the media team, with the marketing team, and looking at how we can utilize some of the services they have in place currently and to extend our outreach there. So this is interesting because for me it's very much an open book. It's a clean slate. We want somebody to come in and to really think about some ideas and what would they like to do. And we'll help to support them. We'll work with the other services that are being provided. So if they want to try something, come in, give it a go, see how it works, see what doesn't work, So we're really looking for somebody to come in, bring a bit of innovation and try something. So very interesting opportunity there. There's an event that should be right at the top of this list, the 16th of March, the Construction Forum. We're still working on some final items for that, and there should be a flyer coming out shortly to inform everybody about that. Otherwise, we have excited to have the Financial Forum kicking off on the evening of the first day of the Project Challenge, which is the 22nd and the 23rd of March. There may be some other events in March as well, which we're finalising at the moment. So March is quite a busy month. And then after that, there's an event on the 25th of April and the 16th of May. And we're going to check with Johan after this event whether the TFL is still lined up for the 25th of April. Otherwise, we'll be keeping you informed of exactly where that's taking place. And of course, as well as the live events, there's also webinars, and you can find details of these online. We're actually looking to have our first live streaming event from the London branch, tentatively in June. So we're excited to be working on that in the background at the moment, and as soon as we have concrete details, it will be coming up on the website, and we'll be promoting it in our future events as well. So, as always, we have the links on the slides there. It's already been mentioned what the work that marketing's been doing, so we have the presence on LinkedIn and Twitter, and sorry, we need to add Facebook there as well, don't we? And last but not least is the slide that tells you about how to register for your PDU if you're interested. Can't believe anybody here would be, but the code, if I remember correctly, is 170220/AGM. But we'll make sure that the slides that are shared afterwards have that information for you. So, thank you very much everybody for attending this evening. The event has been recorded and we'll be looking to share that as well. But for now, I would encourage you all, hope you can all stay a bit longer. And we hopefully have some drinks and snacks remaining for people and you can all network there. So thank you very much.